Hello everyone, welcome to Narayana IAS. So in today's daily news analysis, I have taken this much topics both from the Hindu as well as the Indian Express. So first article is the census next year, then delimitation. So here we'll be discussing regarding the census, what is the procedure of census and also the delimitation commission. Next one is regarding a WMO report, World Meteorological Organization report, which is showing the greenhouse gas surge statistics. Next one is regarding the Aadhaar cannot be used as a Supreme Court statement which said that Aadhaar cannot be used as a date of birth proof. And another one is the underrepresentation of women in judiciary. Here also we will be discussing some of the important statistics. And also next one is regarding the mission for horticulture, MIDH guidelines that is about to come only. So in that three more components will be added. Vertical farming will be added, hydroponics will be added, aquaponics will be added. So we will be discussing what all these things are. And after that, some will be discussing some of the important prelim snippets only. What is actually the concept, especially the economic concept like economic slowdown, cyclical slowdown, structural slowdown, and also regarding mule accounts, which was also warned by the center. Again, after that, we'll be discussing some of the important issue with the electoral reforms. All right. So without much delay, let's start with the first article. Very important article. Census next year. Then only we'll be going for delimitation. Okay. So this article is coming under the important for both prelims as well as mains point of view. So prelims will be discussing regarding what is census and all. For the mains perspective, it is coming under the paper 2, GS paper 2. Alright, so let's see a previous year question which was asked related to delimitation commission. With reference to delimitation commission, consider the following statement. So two statements are given. You have to identify which of the statements are correct in this. So the context is, like I've already mentioned, the government, the Ministry of Home Affairs, they are planning to update the National Population Register. So we'll be discussing what this National Population Register or NPRS. What is NPR, and also regarding the census, what is the difference between NPR and census also. So we'll be getting the data only by 2026. The census will be completed by 2025, but we'll be getting the data only by 2026. All right. So what is census? What do you mean by census? Census is a nationwide process conducted to collect detailed data on country's population. Detailed data. This is important. What do you mean by detailed data? We'll be explaining what do you mean, what is this detailed data? Detailed data of country's population. Are we talking about citizens? No, we are not talking about citizens, but we are talking about the complete population, including that of citizens. Okay, so it will be including demographics will be there, literacy will be there, occupation will be there, housing will be there, and other social parameters will be. So what do you mean? Simply, what is a census? Census means just taking count only. Taking count. For example, if you are going to a school, the teacher will be taking attendance, right? Same like that only. Census. Attendance means in that particular class, how many students are there? That is attendance. Census means in over a period of time, how many people are there and what are their credentials. So that is census. Okay. So who started the census? We cannot say that Britishers started the census. Even before that itself, we have many dynasties were there, right? Even from that period itself, we had evidence regarding census. But the proper account of a census, it was started by the Britishers only. The first census was started in 1872 only. So why Britishers need to bring a concept known as census? Britishers wanted to exploit only, right? So why they have to bring something known as a census? Because they wanted to implement policies for their benefit, for example, railways and all these things they need to understand, right? Where the population is residing, so through which way they have to take the goods and all this thing. Also the worker data also they need, right? So for all this thing, for ultimately for the benefit of Britishers only, they took the census, but still they only introduced the proper concept of census. So after independence, what we did is like we started a 10-year cycle. We started a 10-year cycle. For example, the census happened in 2001. So after the census will be happening in 2011 only. So there is actually a 10-year window. In this 10-year window only, so next census will be happening in 2011. So 2001, 2011. Ideally, the next census would have been in 2021. So this didn't happen. We'll see why this didn't happen also. Okay. All right. So who conducts the census? Who conducts the census? This is from the directly taken from the census website only. Census website only. So who conducts the census? Office of the Registrar General and the Census Commissioner. Office of the Registrar General and the Census Commissioner. They will only be in charge of the census. So in this ministry, this is coming under the Ministry of Home Affairs only. In this ministry, Ministry of Home Affairs, we have this department, and in this department there is something known as a census division. So they will be in charge of conducting the census. So what registrar will be doing? Registrar will be in charge of the accounts, like the data collection, all these things will be done by the Registrar General only, ORGI. Census Commissioner will be in charge of the planning. So he will be in charge of the data. He will be in charge of the data, and the Census Commissioner, he will be in charge of the planning and even execution of this census. Execution, compiling, all these things will be done by this census under the monitoring of this census commissioner only. Okay. Alright, so that's regarding census. Next, let's understand what is this NPR. NPR means it is actually the database of records of the usual residents of India. What do you mean by usual residents of India? Usual residents of India are people who are living in India for a long period of time. Long period of time, somebody is living in India for more than 6 months. More than 6 months, we call them as a usual resident in India. Okay, census is happening usually in a time period of 10 years only, but in NPR we can combine any time. Okay, we have another thing is also there known as the NCR. Okay, so this is NPR is population register. So this is citizens register. This is citizens register. Obviously, population register will be more. The member count in the population register, we have around 1.4 billion people in India. So NCR will be having only citizens. This will be including non-citizens also. That is including the usual residents who has been staying in India for even more than 6 months. They are considered as a usual residents. Okay. So why this NPR is compiled? For the same reasons only. You know how many people are residing in that area, then we will be able to plan our policies better. Like that. Alright, so there are two important phases of this census. One is house listing and housing census. Census doesn't mean that you will be taking the count of the people alone. This is also happening. For example, we will be considering are they living in the single story house, are they living in two-story house, are they living in thatched houses, do they have a house, are they living in some other sort of slums or something. So all this data will be collected. So this is the first phase. This is known as house listing and housing census. After that, we will be taking the population enumeration. Here we will be taking the data of the people. Data of the people in the sense, their marital status will be taken, their age will be taken, their mother tongue will be taken, economic activity, their migration history, their caste, their religion, all these things will be taken. So to ensure that these things are conducted smoothly before conducting the census, there is actually a pretest. Pretest means what? Pretest means it is for everything we will be making a trial, right? For example, to ensure that all these things are working properly, we will be conducting the pretest. The procedure should be working properly, and also the questionnaire, based on questionnaires only, what is your age, are you married, so all these questionnaires will also be compiled, right? So make sure that all these things are properly compiled. For that only we will be conducting the pretest. Okay, all right. So that is regarding the phases of census. Now, what will be new in the 2025 census? What are the new things which will be in the 2025 census? One is it will be a digital data collection. So earlier also we tried to introduce something called as digital, but still this will be completely in the if you go to the census website, then you can see all the data which I have taken is from the census website only, so you have to visit that. So if you go to that website, there it is written, this is the first completely digital census. So how the data will be collected? A mobile app will be there. So whoever is coming to collect the data, the data will be directly recorded to the mobile app, and it can even be used in the real time also. Earlier they used to write it in the paper, they used to compile it and all these things are happening, but now that is not needed. They can do it in the mobile app itself. After that, another important portion is self-enumeration. Self-enumeration means it is actually a new feature which is allowing the individuals to enter their own data. I can enter my own data. For example, what is my name, all these things, and maybe they can verify using Aadhaar or some other sort of ID. So that is known as self-enumeration. Okay. Now there is something known as CMMS portal, Census Monitoring and Management System. Census Monitoring and Management System. Again, this is also introduced by the Office of the Registrar General of India. Office of the Registrar General of India only. So, and Commissioner, the Census Commission. So what this data will be doing? The entire process will be monitored online. The entire process will be monitored online using this CMMS portal only. So this will be the complete digital census in India. So what is the significance of this census? Why we are conducting census? Every year we are every 10 years we are ideally every year 10 year we will be conducting the census, right? So it will ensure that the resource allocation is much better. For example, in the census we will know how much population is living in one particular area, and also we will be knowing what is their literary status and all these things, and health conditions, all these things. So based on this we can have better economic planning. Based on this the health data we can have we can plan that for how many hospitals are needed in that area. Education, if the education rate is low, we have to deduce a plan accordingly. So like that way resource allocation will be very much important. And also social indicators, how a area is developing. If you know the literacy in a particular area, for example take Kerala, what is the literacy rate of Kerala? So if you know the literacy rate of Kerala, you will get an overall idea about okay how the state is performing. If you take another state, how how are the health parameters in that state. So basically it will be giving an idea regarding the social indicators of the area, and also economic development, also how the funds are being properly utilized and how it is getting benefited for the population. All these things will be known. Okay, so that is the significance of the census. So now why the census was delayed? Ideally the census should be happening in 2021 only, right? So last census happened in 2011. Last census happened in 2007. So if you are following the 10-year time period, then it should be happening in 2021. So what happened in 2021? The COVID pandemic. The COVID pandemic happened in 2021. Why why I don't have to explain like why nothing was happening during COVID pandemic, because completely everything was locked down when people were not allowed to go out of their homes. So how will we conduct the census? That is the case. So that was a major challenge. Even the resource allocation was also resource reallocation was also usually for the census. These asha workers will be going, and also teachers will be going. So all these people, so they were reallocated to other purposes. Lockdown, quarantine, all these things will be there. So all the resources, police, they were reallocated to different other purpose related to COVID, and also logistical complexities were also there during this period. Operational challenges were there, vehicle issues were there, so all these things were there. So that is why we were not able to conduct census till now. Okay, like digital issue, infrastructure issues were also there. Now let's understand what is this delimitation commission, what is their role in the census. So delimitation commission, basically what delimitation commission will be doing, delimitation commission will be redrawing the boundaries. They will be redrawing the constituencies, boundaries over the constituencies. So they will be deciding what is the extent of that constituency. For example, based on the population. So it is done based on the population only. So from where we will be getting the population data? It will be from the census only. It will be from the census only. So census data provides a detailed demographic of that area. Okay. But as of now, this delimitation commission is suspended. We have not used the earlier data. It is suspended until 2026 based on the 84th Constitutional Amendment Act. Based on the 84th Constitutional Amendment Act, it is suspended till 2026. So the census will be happening in 2025 and we will be getting the results in 2026. Okay, so after that only again till then it is locked also. So after that we will see what we can do. Okay, so that is the status as of now. So what are the if a census is going to happen, what will be the constitutional political implications in the country? One will be obviously the impact on representation. Delimitation commission will be again redrawing the boundary. So obviously political representation will be changing. If a state is having 20 Lok Sabha seat, means after delimitation it can go up to maybe 24 or 25. So that is also not very much proportional. For example, southern states, federal dynamics center outcomes highlight population control with southern state experiencing the lower growth. If a state A is having population of 5,000, it was having population of 5,000 and it was increased from, just a hypothetical case only, 5,050. Another, imagine another state that is having a population of again 5,000. So this has increased to maybe around 7,000. Okay. So this state will be getting lesser number of seats. This state will be getting lesser number of seats. This state will be getting more number of seats. Okay. Why? Because this state actually went with the population control. That is something good only. But it has become a disadvantage for this particular state. This usually we can see in the southern states, and this mostly in the some parts of the northern states. So this is one criticism which will be surfacing once the census process will be started. Okay. Alright. So these are the, and also based on Article 82 only the census data is being, census calculation is being freeze. So that will also change once the census is coming. So it will also require many amendments. Okay. So these are the constitutional and political implications which will be facing. Okay. Alright. So that's it regarding census. Next one. Next article is greenhouse gas level surged to a new record in 2023. This is actually a WMO report. So the UPSC relevance is, again we'll be discussing what is the report saying, and what are greenhouse gas emissions. That will be coming under the environmental part, coming in the environmental part of GS3 paper. Okay. All right. So let's see a previous year question. This is from ecology only. Why I have taken this? Because reports are important. WMO report is also there, right? So maybe related to some term can be given, and from which report it was taken, or what is actually the purpose of the report, that can be asked. Okay. All right. Another one, context. Context. What is the context here? WMO's annual greenhouse gas bulletin has reported that greenhouse gas levels surged to a new record in 2023. So what is WMO? WMO is a organization which is a specialized agency of UN, United Nations. It is a specialized agency of United Nations. So what is its purpose? It coordinates the efforts on weather, climate, hydrology and environmental issues. Okay. It coordinates global efforts on weather, climate, hydrology and environmental issues. Okay. So regarding the report, this report is an annual report. They will be releasing it every year. This point is important. So which all gases they will be considering? One, carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and all these things are greenhouse gases only. So based on these data, based on the concentration of these data only, they will be combining the annual greenhouse gas bulletin. Okay. Alright, so let's see what are the key findings in the report. One is the record greenhouse gas levels, and what is the exact count? That is, carbon dioxide levels are at 420 ppm in 2023. It's actually a rise of 2 ppm. It's actually a rise of 2 ppm, parts per million. So in a million, we are taking in the million, there will be 422 parts of carbon dioxide will be there. That is very much high. So it's actually a increase of 2 ppm from the previous count. So what is greenhouse gas? We have different types of gases in our atmosphere. So some gases will be trapping the heat. And that is what is making the earth warm. So once this warming is increased, and it is going beyond the levels, global warming will be happening. So that is what is happening here. Other one is the impact of El Nino. So El Nino is contributed to drier conditions, especially wildfires and also many forest fires have happened, and again these forests are the natural carbon sinks where automatically itself carbon will be absorbed. So that also has been affected. That is El Nino. What is El Nino? El Nino is actually the warming of the sea surface, in the central and eastern Pacific, in the central and eastern Pacific. Okay, so this is the one of two of the impacts. Next one, again this will be creating a potential vicious cycle. What is a potential vicious cycle? That is, where if the greenhouse gas levels increase, means again the natural ecosystem emission will also be increasing. Emission will increase means again greenhouse gas will be increasing. So again it will be warm. So again this will happen. Again sometimes forest fires will be happening. Again that will also contribute. Due to that again forest fires will be happening. So this will be continuing like a vicious cycle. So that is what is happening here. Next one, long-term warming effect. Since 1990, radiative forcing by greenhouse gas has increased by 51.5. So what is radiative forcing? Radiative forcing is the natural energy balance in the world. Natural energy balance in the world. What do you mean by energy balance? Whatever balance it will be like we'll be getting something and we'll be releasing something. So there should be some balance between this, right? How much carbon dioxide we are getting and how much producing and how much carbon dioxide we are able to absorb. So that balance has been affected. Again, can also be considered for heat also, whatever it is. That is the balance. So that balance has been affected. That is another important key finding of the report. Okay, so that's it regarding this particular news. Next one. This was a Supreme Court related to a Supreme Court judgment only. Why SC said Aadhaar cannot be used as a proof of birth. So again, we'll be discussing right to privacy, Aadhaar Act, and which is the organization which is dealing with. So that is VDI. Okay, it will be in the prelims polity section, UPSC syllabus. So we'll see a previous year question. Again here, right to privacy, a question related to right to privacy was asked. Which of the following in the constitution correctly and appropriately imply the above statements? You have to identify. So what is the context? Again, related to school leaving certificate. School leaving certificate. So Supreme Court has ruled that Aadhaar card cannot be accepted as a proof of age. Remember this. So for some purposes we can use it as a proof, but not as a proof of age. Okay, as other official documents like school leaving certificates. So we'll see what is this Aadhaar Act and what are the provisions of that. So Aadhaar is basically an act which was passed by the Parliament of India in 2016. Aadhaar Targeted Delivery of Financial and Other Subsidies, Beneficence and Services Act. So it was passed as a money bill. It was passed as a money bill and it was little controversial also. So what was the aim of this? To create a unique identity to the residents of India. Again, this is also important. It is not for the citizens of India, not for the citizens alone. Same like how we have talked regarding the national population basis. It is not just for the citizens of India, but for the residents of India, usual residents of India. And who is the nodal authority? That is Unique Identification Authority of India. So they will only be issuing the Aadhaar numbers. It's actually a unique identification number. Okay, so basic purpose is to ensure that the government schemes are reaching the beneficiaries. That is the main purpose of this Aadhaar Act. So why it was challenged? One, I already okay. Why it was challenged? Because the very popular case was there, Justice K.S. Puttaswamy case, and one important news regarding K.S. Puttaswamy is there. He passed away. He passed away yesterday. So he was a judge, Chief Justice of Karnataka. So he passed away. So one is privacy concerns. Privacy concerns means Aadhaar will be having your biometric data will be there, or iris will be there, or fingerprint will be there. So if you are using this for everything, for example, to take a mobile connection also, we will be using this Aadhaar. So that privacy concerns will be there. Another one is Aadhaar has been made mandatory for purposes like creation of bank accounts and all. So these the two things were challenged by Justice K.S. Puttaswamy. Okay. Alright. So what the SC said in that particular case is SC upheld the Aadhar's constitutional validity. What was the issue with Aadhar's constitution? Because Aadhar was passed as a money bill only, and even Rajya Sabha had some dissent over Aadhar, but still that was not recorded since it was a money bill. So that was accepted. That was accepted. Okay, it can be done as a money bill also, and also it was declared legal for delivering subsidies and benefit. For getting subsidies and benefit, it has been made legal. Okay, and but it cannot be made mandatory for other purposes like opening of bank accounts, enrolling in schools. This was in the news, and also taking the mobile SIM and all. So that was also not allowed. Okay, and also Aadhar PAN linking was also allowed. Now you know, right? If you are not linking Aadhar with the PAN, after some time, earlier we had to pay some fine, and again we will have to link also. So that issue was also there, and again it emphasizes that even though it can be used for all these purposes, it cannot be used as a proof of identity, age or address. It cannot be used as a proof of identity, age or address. Okay, but it can be used as a proof of residence. All right. So what are the constitutional rights involved? One is right to privacy itself. This was again emphasized in the Puttaswamy case. Another thing is right to education. Right to education for school admissions and all. Aadhar is not mandatory. So that was also mentioned, and also this one bicameralism. Why? Because you know Rajya Sabha's uh, Rajya Sabha's recommendations were not heard in since it was a money bill. So, but still that was also um, bypassed. Okay, now it was in the Article 110. All right, so that's it regarding the Aadhar case. Next one is new MIDH guidelines to support vertical farming, hydroponics, and hydroponics among 4 other components. This context is this is going to come only. The new MIDH guidelines are going to come only, but in that 4 new important elements will also be added. New technological elements will also be added. So here we will be discussing regarding what is Mission for Integrated Development of Horticulture. What is this particular mission? And also this is coming under the GS3 paper 3 related to agriculture. Okay. All right. So the context is new MIDH guidelines will be expected to be released within a month. Again here cost support is also there. Here cost support is also there for these 4 new projects. Okay, so what is this MIDH? Again, this I have taken from the MIDH website only. MIDH website only. So basically, this is an umbrella scheme. Basically, this is an umbrella scheme which is coming under the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. So what do you mean by horticulture? Horticulture means it will be having fruits will be there, vegetables will be there, root and tuber crops will be there, mushrooms, spices, flowers, aromatic plants, cashew, coconut, bamboo, all these things will be covered under MIDH. This is from the ministry, this is from the mission website itself. So make sure that you are not missing these facts. And also this is a centrally sponsored scheme, centrally, not central sector scheme, but it is a centrally sponsored scheme. So obviously government of India will be having 60% of the total outlay, and also 40% of the share will be taken by the states. In case of northeastern state, it will be different. The center contributes 90% and the states have to contribute only 10%. Okay, so we'll see what all are the new technologies which have been incorporated. So the revised MIDH guidelines will be having these components. One is hydroponics. Hydroponics means whether it be hydroponics or whether it be aquaponics, no soil will be there. No soil will be there for both these components. Hydroponics means, hydro means what? Water. Hydro means water. So obviously plants or crops growing in the water alone. No soil, nothing but only water alone. So that is hydroponics. Aquaponics means we have to include water plus fish will also be there. Water plus fish will also be there. So that is aquaponics. So water will be there and fish will be there. So How we will be getting the nutrients for that? Hydroponics, we can add other nutrients. Other than soil, we can add other nutrients. Aquaponics, the nutrients will be supplied by the fish. The fish will be feeding on the resources from the plant, and again the fish that excrete and all these things will become the nutrient for the plant to grow. And also we have vertical farming is also there. If you are farming in this kind of area, if you are farming in this kind of area, we need this much land area is needed, right? Land area is needed. So what if we are doing it in the vertical way? Vertical way means you can this much area is only needed. This much area is only needed. You can do it like this. Instead of cropping it like this, you can do it like this. So only this much area. So you can have multiple vertical farming sections can be there. So that is the advantage of this. Another one is precision farming. Precision farming means more advanced use of more advanced technologies. For example, ICT tools, sensors, ICT tools, sensors, even drone based, like for some agriculture farms and all, there will be drones will be there. So drones will only be that pouring the nutrients and all this. So that can also be that will also be there in this ICT, precision farming. So in the new revised guidelines, they will be considering all these new technologies. Okay, so that is a news. Okay, next we will see another concept, cyclical slowdown. We will see a concept, cyclical slowdown. So what is cyclical slowdown? Before knowing what is cyclical slowdown, we need to know what is slowdown or what is economic slowdown. So this is coming in the economy part only. So context is Nomura is a private. So this will be coming in the economy part only. GS3 economy only. GS3 economy only. So we'll see what is this cyclical slowdown. Okay, so Nomura is a private agency. So Nomura reckons that India's economy has likely entered a cyclical growth slowdown. Cyclical growth slowdown and may slip below 6.7 in the face of emerging risks. That is what the private firm Nomura has said. Okay, so let's see what is this economic slowdown. So economic slowdown is a period where the economy's growth rate decreases, resulting in slower expansion of GDP. Slower expansion of GDP means one is reduced consumer spending. Reduced spending will be there. Reduced spending will be there. So that is one. Lower business investment will be there. Investment will also go down, and also all these things can create to unemployment. All these things can create to unemployment. Okay, so this is actually what is the problem with the economic slowdown. Okay, so basically a slower growth rate. Slower growth rate means the GDP growth rate will be slowing down. That is economic slowdown. So next one, inside that economic slowdown itself, we can divide it into one is cyclical slowdown and another one is structural slowdown. So basically, cyclical slowdown means a temporary dip only. Cyclical slowdown is a temporary dip only, and it can be due to it can, again, these are the factors. Again, we have seen in the um, what economic slowdown. For every slowdown, this will be the factor, but this can be due to reduced interest rate. One can be change in interest rate. Change in interest rate can be there. Higher interest rate. Higher interest rate will be there, and also economic spending will be even reduced. So all these factors can cause a cyclical slowdown. This will be temporarily only. But when you are considering structural slowdown, it will be a prolonged decline. Prolonged decline means the other factors will be there, like government policies will be there. Government policies will be there. Population will be a factor. So like that, it will be a long term. Sectoral inefficiency will be there. Innovation will be limited. So all these factors can cause a structural slowdown. Okay, so basically cyclical means it will be a cycle. After some period, again it will be recovering. Structural is not like that. It will be a prolonged period. Okay, it can really badly affect the economy of the country. So these are the two important economic concepts cyclical slowdown and structural slowdown, which are coming under the economic slowdown. Next one, again we'll see another concept only. So there was a news regarding center warns against illegal digital payment gateways of mule accounts. Okay. So this is coming under the internal security. This is coming under GS3 internal security. Okay. Alright, so context is Indian Cyber Crime Coordination Center. Indian Cyber Crime Coordination Center issued an alert against illegal payment gateway created using mule bank accounts. So we'll see what is this mule bank accounts. Okay, so mule bank accounts are bank accounts that are used by individual shell companies or business to transfer illegal funds on behalf of criminals, often rendered or sold to facilitate money laundering. So basically, this will be used by the organized crime group. Used by the organized crime group. Organized crime group only to transfer illegal fund. To transfer illegal fund. It cannot be done in a normal bank account. So what they'll be doing is they'll be creating an illegal bank account and they'll be transferring it on behalf of the criminal. So basically, it will be Binami transaction. It will be a Binami transaction only, not a the even names, everything will be different, but the actual owners will, the money will be, the actual owners of that particular money will be the criminals only, but another person on the behalf of that person only they'll be doing, and ultimate purpose is money laundering. They want to make the black money into or dirty money into white money. That is the purpose of mule accounts. So the one another important threat we are facing is this money laundering as a service is happening. We have seen software as a service. We have seen software as a service means companies will be providing software as a service for other companies. So like that way, this criminals will be approaching some people. So they will be, their only business will be they will be having facilities so that this money can be converted into a black money can be converted into white money. For that, they'll be getting a commission. So like that way. So that is money laundering as a service. Okay, to process the illegal funds. Another one is layering. Layering means process of moving money through multiple accounts. Okay, for example, initially this will be the dirty money which is in the hands of the criminal. In the hands of the criminal. So after this, he will be transferring it to a different account. Maybe he can transfer if he is having 10,000 rupees, he can transfer 1,000 to one account for some other purpose. That will go unnoticed. After that, he can transfer 500. So after that, he can transfer 2,000. So like that way, he can transfer it into multiple accounts, and he can even convert it into other different assets. So that is known as layering of funds. Okay. All right. So that's it. So these are the two important concepts. One was a cyclical slowdown, and another one is a mule account, which was in today's newspaper, today's Hindu newspaper. Now let's see some of the previous year, some of the prelims practice questions we have created for you. So this is actually from our website only. You can visit our website navigator.narayanaacademy.com. We can go to this current affairs tab, and here the daily prelims questions will be there. So you can click on that prelims question and you will be reaching this page, and you can answer the questions of other dates also. You'll be able to answer. So this is 29th October. The previous DNA questions are also updated in that. Okay. So the question is, with reference to World Meteorological Organization and greenhouse gases, consider the following statement. So WMO is a specialized agency of United Nations. We have discussed this, responsible for monitoring weather, climate and water resource globally. According to WMO's annual greenhouse gas bulletin, carbon dioxide is the only greenhouse gas monitored due to its highest concentration in atmosphere. Okay, so this is correct. First one is correct only. It's a specialized agency of United Nations. We have already discussed this. According to WMO's annual greenhouse gas bulletin, carbon dioxide is the only greenhouse gas. Is this correct? No. In our slide itself, we have discussed that methane will be there and other gases will also be there. So this statement is not correct. So which of the statements are correct? Only one. Only one is correct. Okay. All right. Next one. Next one. Again, another question. In which among the following cases Supreme Court of India held that right to privacy is a fundamental right? Which among the following cases Supreme Court of India held that right to privacy is a fundamental right? Okay, we have discussed this also. K. Puttaswamy was Union of India. I have already mentioned, like Puttaswamy passed away yesterday only. Puttaswamy passed away, so this is the case. K. Puttaswamy was Union of India. In this case only, right to privacy became a fundamental right under article under Article 21. Right to privacy is a fundamental right. Okay. All right. Next, we'll see a mains question. Again, this is also in our website. You can go to the website. Inside this current affairs tab, along with the prelims question, there will be another tab will be there, mains answers. Okay, mains questions and answers. So there we'll be giving this question, model question as well. Sorry, the question as practice question as well as the approach. So the question is, examine the challenges and constitutional implications of delimitation in India with emphasis on its link to census and the demand for caste data collection. So we will be introducing the census as well as the delimitation. What is census? What is delimitation? That will be mentioning, and also we'll be mentioning the constitutional. This is just an approach only. You can have a different approach also. So we'll be mentioning the constitutional mandate for delimitation and what is there till the 2026 census. In the body, you can give what is the role of census in delimitation. We have mentioned all these things. What is delimitation commission? How delimitation is being done, and till when it is freezed, all these things we have discussed. What are the challenges in delimitation? Challenges in the sense like southern states are having uh, better population control, so all these things will be an issue. Legal delays will be there. All these things you can mention here, and why there is a demand for caste data. Caste census we have covered a very detailed video in the previous day. You can check that also if you want. Okay, so conclusion, you can emphasize on the timely publishing of a census. With that way you can conclude it positively. Okay, all right, so that's a mains practice question. So before winding up, let me introduce you to some of our courses. This is the NCERT foundation course we are offering for the students who have completed the 10th class. So this will be for the Inter plus IAS. Along with studying for your Inter exam, you can prepare for civil service also. We will be starting from the basics only. That's why we have mentioned it like NCERT. NCERT is a foundation of civil service. So we will be starting from there itself. So that is NCERT foundation course. Next one is a GS advanced course. GS advanced course. So here we will be again same like that batch only, but still along with the degree. This is for the students who have completed their 12th standard. So along with the degree course, you can prepare for the civil service. So that is GS advanced course. This will be little more advanced compared to the NCERT course. This will be little more advanced course. Okay. All right, next one. This is the program which we'll be having. We'll be giving you the articles. We'll be simplifying the newspaper for you. Instead of we'll be going through the newspaper, and we'll be picking up the articles which are very much important for your exam point of view, and we'll be giving it in a PDF. You can open the PDF and you can go through that articles, making your preparation little more easier. And also we have programs like Samvad. Samvad is a program in which we'll be bringing experienced people, especially from the bureaucracy and those who are well aware of these courses. So we'll be having talk shows with them, we'll be having podcasts will be there. So all these things will be part of the Samvad. Okay. All right, so that's it, and our admissions are open. So both inter course as well as the degree course, you can join. We have campuses at Hyderabad, Vijayawada, and Nellore. So whichever campus is suitable for you, whichever campuses you prefer, you can join them. Provided the numbers also, you can contact them and ask. So that's it for today's daily news analysis. Thank you. Done.